Have you ever stopped to wonder what happens when the final breath leaves your body? That moment, the great passage we all face, is not an ending. It is a brilliant, blinding awakening. Imagine stepping out of a dark, heavy coat you've worn for decades and into the soft, warm light of an eternal dawn. This is not the cold void of nothingness. It is the vibrant, bustling, organized world we call the spiritual plane. This is where life truly begins, and it starts with a moment of profound, undeniable relief. The first sensation for many is peace, an extraordinary lightness. You are still you, the memories, the feelings, the character, but stripped of the physical world's limitations. You look around and you are not alone. Waiting there, at the threshold, is a figure of pure, unwavering light, your guardian angel. This is the connection you have spent your entire life forging, often unconsciously, through every silent prayer, every moment of genuine compassion, every ethical choice you made. Your angel or guide is the first to greet you, their presence radiating a love that transcends human understanding. They are accompanied by a team, a spiritual rescue squad, sent to stabilize your energy field, calm the remnants of earthly anxieties, and prepare you for the journey ahead. For many, this arrival is a gentle, peaceful awakening, a homecoming. For others, it can be a turbulent transition, and the difference lies entirely in the life you lived. The journey home, however, is not a simple, uniform path. The spiritual world, far from being a single, ethereal cloud, is structured, hierarchical, and dynamic. It mirrors the vast complexity of the material world, but with an emphasis on energy, vibration, and moral resonance. This is where we encounter the legendary spiritual colonies, cities of light, thought, and profound learning. These colonies, or Nosso Lar, as one famous account describes them, are massive, organized municipalities built of fluid, condensed thought, energy, and elevated matter, perfectly attuned to the vibrations of the spirits who inhabit them. They are not merely waiting rooms, they are centers of rehabilitation, education, and productive work. When a soul arrives, their immediate destination is determined by their spiritual weight, the moral and ethical resonance of their lifetime on earth. A life lived in service, dedicated to love, honesty, and self-improvement, results in a high, light vibration. Such a soul is effortlessly drawn to the higher, luminous zones of the spiritual colonies, places of exquisite beauty, peace, and immediate engagement with higher learning. But what about the others? The ones who struggled, who succumbed to vice, anger, or deep attachments? They too are met with infinite mercy, but their initial path is different. Their spiritual body, still vibrating with the disturbances of their past actions, fear, guilt, regret, cannot immediately resonate with the higher light. They may require intensive care in special recovery wards, perhaps in the lower, more shadowed, but still compassionate areas of the colonies, or sometimes even in transitional zones closer to the Earth's surface. Until their inner vibration is purified, no one is ever abandoned. The love of God ensures that even the darkest soul is given help, but the time and difficulty of recovery depend entirely on the moral ledger they bring with them. This is the profound truth of divine justice. You are received according to what you are, not what you owned. Let us explore these contrasting worlds, for they are the direct consequences of our choices. The higher spiritual colonies, often described as magnificent star cities of the spiritual plane, are truly sublime masterpieces of spiritual engineering, far surpassing any earthly concept of civilization. Inspired by accounts like Nosso Lar from André Luis, we can picture these domains. The architecture is not based on static stone or steel, but on fluid light and harmonious thought forms. Imagine soaring, luminous structures, great domes and elegant towers that glow with an internal radiance, all designed to channel and concentrate benevolent spiritual energy. The atmosphere itself is a tonic, perpetually clean and vibrating with profound serenity. These colonies are highly specialized centers of civilization. They house ministries dedicated to every facet of life. The Ministry of Assistance focuses on immediate relief and moral support for the recently deceased. Newcomers, often still bewildered by the transition and burdened by residual guilt or regret, are taken to welcoming pavilions. Here they receive personalized counseling and specialized fluidic treatments, gentle energy passes that dissolve emotional debris and stabilize their spiritual bodies. This dedicated support ensures that every soul, even those who struggled but hold a spark of goodwill, gets a firm footing for their new life. The relentless work of these enlightened spirits is the very engine of planetary progress. They are engaged in continuous, vital service, not for personal gain, but for universal good. Through the Ministry of Communication and Guidance, massive efforts are coordinated. These spirits are the silent architects of world events. They inspire incarnate scientists with intuitive insights, guide compassionate leaders in their ethical decisions, and form vast invisible networks that influence human thought, art, and law toward justice and peace. They are the constant benefactors, tirelessly transmitting waves of positive, elevating thought down to the dense material plane, offering clarity and protection to any soul on earth who is willing to listen and act correctly. Their work is a testament to the fact that there is no rest in the universe, only purposeful, joyful service aimed at collective evolution. But just as light creates shadow, there are the lower zones, the regions of intense suffering known collectively as the Umbral. This is not a place of divine punishment, but a direct consequence of moral decay and persistent negative vibration. When a soul departs with deep-seated hatred, self-pity, guilt, or attachment to earthly vice, their energy field is heavy, dark, and cannot tolerate the light of the higher colonies. They are drawn by the law of affinity to the Umbral, a desolate, murky landscape shaped by the collective misery and obsessive thoughts of its inhabitants. The Umbral is a realm of shadows, cold, and a constant, suffocating anxiety. The spirits here are often deeply confused, believing they are still alive or trapped in endless cycles of regret and fear. They see the physical manifestations of their own vices, monstrous forms created by their mental projections, or the grim, demanding entities that feed on their despair. It is a world of darkness where time seems stagnant, and the suffering is internal, psychological, and often acute. Yet even in the Umbral, the divine mercy holds a thread of hope. It is from this region that the dedicated rescue teams from the higher colonies descend, often at great risk and effort, spurred by the sincere prayers of loved ones or the slightest flicker of repentance from a soul in agony. The Umbral is a temporary state, a consequence of self-imprisonment, and the door to progress, though difficult, is never truly locked. This brings us to the most vital lesson of our earthly existence, the supreme importance of living ethically, of dedicating ourselves to goodness. Our time on earth is a sacred school. Every interaction is a lesson, every choice a spiritual investment. When we choose integrity over deceit, compassion over judgment, and forgiveness over resentment, we are literally building the mansion of light that awaits us. These principles, love God above all things and love your neighbor as yourself, are not just moral guidelines, they are energetic laws. They ensure a smooth, joyous transition. They guarantee that upon arrival, instead of needing years of recovery, you are immediately welcomed as a productive, valuable citizen of the spiritual world, ready to resume your evolution. Think of it. The spiritual colony is a city where every citizen is engaged in useful activity. There are hospitals staffed by advanced healer spirits, schools of music and art, centers for atmospheric engineering, and workshops where spirits are trained to assist incarnate souls. Your earthly occupation, if it involves selfless service, often finds a direct translation here. A compassionate nurse becomes a spirit helper in a recovery wing. A dedicated teacher continues to guide souls in the schoolhouses. Even more, you might train in completely new spiritual sciences, preparing to serve on earth as a mentor, a spirit guide, or even a returning incarnate soul with a specific mission. The support system is vast. Every colony has a ministry of aid, a ministry of communication, and departments of reincarnation. Spirits study the past lives of those recently arrived to understand their complex needs. They offer therapeutic treatments using fluidic energies or passes to help release deep-seated trauma and emotional blockages. They receive personalized education to correct past errors and strengthen their moral fiber. This world is designed for progress, growth, and collective elevation. It is a university without end, a boundless opportunity to learn the higher laws of the universe. Now, let us turn to the indispensable tool we have been given to navigate our earthly journey and ensure that connection to the guiding light, prayer. Pre-C. Prayer is not a simple request list shouted into the void. It is a powerful, energetic communication system. It is the spiritual equivalent of a telephone call, and it is the primary way we activate the help of our guardian angel. When you pray sincerely, whether in words or simply in a heartfelt desire for good, you emit a high-frequency vibration of thought. This clear signal cuts through the dense atmosphere of the earth, reaching your angel. This act of communion does two crucial things. First, it allows the angel to more easily share their calming, enlightening, and protective fluidic energies with you, helping you maintain clarity and serenity amidst life's storms. Second, and perhaps most importantly, it creates a moral shield. The very act of humbling yourself, of acknowledging a higher power, and seeking ethical strength, elevates your vibration, making you less susceptible to the negative influences that constantly circulate on Earth. Imagine your guardian angel constantly trying to whisper wise advice into your ear. A life filled with chaotic thoughts, anger, and self-centeredness is like a roaring static, drowning out their voice. A life punctuated by regular, sincere prayer is like tuning your receiver to the correct frequency. The message comes through clearly, offering intuitive insights, a sudden calming thought, or a gentle redirecting nudge that guides you away from a poor decision. This connection through prayer is what transforms our experience of life and ultimately our experience of transition. The soul who prays, who sincerely seeks to do good, builds a relationship of trust and energetic harmony with their angel that survives the passage of death. They are not meeting a stranger. They are embracing a beloved friend who has been there all along, preparing the path home. In the spiritual colonies, the purpose is always oriented towards service and love. Spirits work to earn the resources they need for their own evolution, not in terms of money but in spiritual merit. They volunteer to work in the lower, more difficult regions near the earth, helping struggling souls. They attend seminars on self-control, forgiveness, and the higher purposes of pain. They prepare their next incarnation, often meeting with those who will be their future family members or future antagonists, establishing the karmic bonds necessary for mutual growth and reconciliation. The drama of Earth is merely a stage, carefully set and rehearsed in the spirit world for the continuous refinement of the soul. And what about reunion? The joy of the spiritual plane is magnified by the certainty of reunion with those we loved. Family ties, if they are founded on true affection, remain strong and eternal. When you arrive, you will be met by those who have progressed before you, their faces radiating happiness and support. But even here, moral resonance holds sway. If a loved one is in a higher, more evolved colony, while you require recovery in a lower zone, the immediate reunion may be brief, a visit of comfort, until you are ready to reside in their proximity. This truth, that love is eternal, but proximity is based on merit and vibration, is a constant spur to moral effort. The spiritual world is not a distant, incomprehensible paradise. It is a reality closer than the air we breathe. It is a future we are actively constructing with every thought, every word, and every action of our current lives. It is a world of incredible, structured hope, where mistakes can be corrected, losses are healed, and love is the single governing law. The entire system is built on infinite compassion and the unwavering goal of universal progress. So, live your life with this knowledge. Let it be the foundation of your choices. Choose kindness, choose honesty, and choose to forgive, because every act of goodness is an investment in your eternal destiny. The light you share here becomes the light that welcomes you there. It ensures that your awakening is not terrifying or confused, but a glorious, joyful, supported return to the luminous, bustling cities of eternity. The path is challenging, yes, but the destination, a conscious, active, productive life of perpetual growth in the embrace of pure, limitless love, is guaranteed for every soul who strives. The happiness you seek is real. The hope is tangible. It awaits you, magnificent and ready, in the spiritual colonies. We are only temporarily away from home. If you love this story and want to hear more like it, please hit that subscribe button. It truly means the world to us and helps us grow. And hey, while you're at it, let's aim for 50 likes on this video. Help us smash that goal.